Isandlwana Mountain, located in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, was the site of a significant battle on January 22, 1879, during the Anglo-Zulu War. The battle, known as the Battle of Isandlwana, saw one of the most devastating defeats for the British Army in its colonial history. Despite their advanced weaponry and well-trained soldiers, the British vastly underestimated the capabilities of their Zulu opponents, leading to a catastrophic. Before we dive into video, subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for more historical content. On January 11, 1879, Lord Chelmsford led his center column across the Buffalo River at Rorke's Drift, marking the beginning of the British invasion of Zululand. The British forces consisted of the 1st and 2nd Battalions of the 24th Regiment of Foot, artillery from the Royal Artillery's 5th Brigade, a squadron of mounted infantry, and native contingents. Confident in their superiority, the British anticipated a swift victory over the Zulu forces. The center column was one of 3 invasion columns moving into Zululand under Chelmsford's overall command. On January 12, the British forces engaged in their first major skirmish at the kraal of a local Zulu chief, Cetshwayo. The skirmish resulted in an easy victory for the British, further cementing their belief that the campaign would be an easy triumph. By January 20th, the column set up camp near Isandlwana Mountain. The mountain, whose name in Zulu means, like a little hut, dominates the surrounding landscape, and the British camp was strategically positioned there. However, the British failed to take basic defensive precautions, such as fortifying their camp with wagons or creating defensive stone structures. This lack of preparation was partly due to the British commanders' overconfidence in their superiority over the Zulu forces. Despite Lord Chelmsford's micromanagement of the invasion, no serious defensive measures were taken at the camp, a decision that would prove to be a critical error. On the night of January 21st, a reconnaissance patrol led by Commandant Rupert Lonsdale discovered a large Zulu force in the area. Eager to engage the Zulus, Lord Chelmsford split his forces, leaving behind approximately 1,500 men under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Henry Pullane. The Zulu forces, consisting of around 20,000 warriors, used the terrain to their advantage. They moved unseen to within striking distance of the British camp, bivouacking in the Ngwebane Valley on the night of January 21st. Despite their commander, Cetshwayo Mahole, initially planning to attack the British on January 23rd, considered a more auspicious date due to Zulu beliefs about the dead moon, circumstances forced their hand. At around 11:45 a.m. on January 22nd, a patrol from Colonel Durnford's men made a startling discovery when they spotted the entire Zulu army. The Zulus, now forced to engage, swiftly deployed into their traditional Horns of the Buffalo formation. Their army was divided into the right horn, Nokenke regiments, the chest, Ingobumkosi regiments, and the left horn, comprising various regiments, including the Uve, the loins, or reserve, were held back and would later be used at the Battle of Rorke's Drift. As the Zulu army advanced, the British forces scrambled to form a defensive line. Pullane sent Captain Mostyn's F Company to the Talahani Spur, where they joined forces with Lieutenant Charles Cavay's men. Meanwhile, Colonel Durnford, who had arrived from Rorke's Drift earlier that day, engaged the Zulu left horn but soon found himself outnumbered and low on ammunition. As his forces were gradually outflanked, Durnford was forced to order a retreat, leaving the British right flank vulnerable. The Zulu chest began to advance down the escarpment, and soon the British were engaged in brutal close-quarters combat. The British firing line, already stretched thin, began to collapse under the sheer number of Zulu warriors. Lieutenant Charlie Pope's company was wiped out while trying to retreat, and the remaining British forces were overwhelmed. The Zulu warriors, armed with traditional spears, assegais, and shields, charged the British lines, and what ensued was a chaotic and bloody fight. By early afternoon, the battle had reached its tipping point. Durnford's withdrawal from the right flank left the remaining British companies exposed, and the Zulu chest seized the opportunity to launch a decisive charge. Despite their superior firepower, the British soldiers were outnumbered and outflanked. The situation rapidly deteriorated into a desperate fight for survival. Captain Younghusband's company made a valiant last stand near the mountain, fighting until they ran out of ammunition and ultimately charging the Zulus in a final act of bravery. Lieutenant Colonel Pullane and Colonel Durnford both fell during the fighting, and by around 2:30 p.m., the battle was effectively over. The Zulus had achieved a stunning victory, killing over 1,300 British soldiers and their allies. Only a small number of British troops managed to escape the slaughter. Zulu casualties were also significant, with estimates suggesting that around 1,000 Zulu warriors were killed, and many more wounded. The Battle of Isandlwana was a devastating blow to British pride and military reputation. It marked one of the worst defeats the British Army had ever suffered in its long history of colonial warfare. Despite their victory, the Zulu nation also suffered heavy losses, and with limited manpower, they would struggle to recover fully from the battle. The battle's legacy continues to be a subject of historical interest, with many scholars examining the reasons behind the British defeat and the tactics used by the Zulu forces. The battle is a testament to the bravery and skill of the Zulu warriors, as well as a cautionary tale about the dangers of underestimating one's opponents. If you want to learn more about history, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating history stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.